So it's been about 5 years since I fell into this life as a social media influencer, and I've had the opportunity to work with some absolutely amazing brands and have some amazing experiences along the way. I've been to the U.S. Virgin Islands with their tourism board. I've been to Fort Lauderdale with Toyota. I've shot for Marriott Bonvoy with the Marriott team. I've been to many press events and openings for Disney World. I've done campaigns with West Elm Kids and Netflix, SunTrust, been to movie premieres. I mean, the list goes on, and the number of brands I've worked with is just too many to name in this video. But today I wanted to give you some tips on how you could create a lane for yourself as a social media influencer. I mean, something custom to you where you can work with brands, you can create a business around your influence, and something that works for you, your lifestyle, and that will make you the money that you dream of making. Now, one of the first things that people think about when it comes to being a social media influencer is your audience size, right? They think that you have to have this huge audience in order to be considered an influencer and actually have opportunities as one. But to be honest with you, that's so far from the truth. I feel like I've had some amazing opportunities and done some great things with actually less than 100,000 followers across the board on the platforms that I'm active on, which is really only 2. So I wanted to first debunk the myth that you need hundreds of thousands of people following to be considered an influencer, because that's not true. Being an influencer is simply the act of you being able to get people to follow the things that you say, your recommendations and your advice based on their perception of who you are and what you do. Like, okay, if she says she likes this lipstick, oh, I'm gonna go try this lipstick because we got similar lips or we're the similar complexion, and if it works for her, then it'll work for me. Being able to get people to buy into the things that you talk about on social media, regardless of the size. You could have 5 people following you for how you do your hair, and you're influencing those 5 people. Obviously, when we're talking about working with the major brands, they want to see you have more than 5 followers. Come on now, let's be real about this thing. But it doesn't take a lot of people. You can have a really small and powerful engaged audience and really make it out here in these online streets. So the first thing, now that we got that out of the way, the first thing that you need to do in order to grow as an influencer is to focus in on your differentiating factor. What is it that sets you apart from everybody else? This is the thing about social. So an influencer can do something and everybody will see it, and then you will begin to see other people, other influencers begin to copy that thing, and that's how trends are started, right? And that's really not what becoming an influencer is about at all. Being an influencer is a lot more about being different than it is about being the same. Did you hear me? Being an influencer is a lot more about being different than it is about being the same. You want to differentiate yourself from the next person. What is it about you that stands out? What's different? What can give you that appeal to a brand or that appeal to viewers and followers and customers more than another person, right? What is it about yourself? And I think a lot of times, because social media can be so judgmental, or, you know, a lot of people just having their opinions about you, a lot of times you can you play it safe or do things that other people are doing for the sake of being accepted. However, it's when you lean into who you really are and what you really like and what really interests you that sets you apart. So I want to challenge you to not be afraid of truly being yourself. If you're like me and you're a female and you're really into sports, really be into sports. You would not know that had I not said it, probably. That's not something that I share here on my platforms because that's not what my platform is about, but I'm just giving an example. Most people that know me in my personal life know that I am an avid sports watcher. I love sports. I've always grew up around sports, and basketball, football, track and field, sign me up any day of the week. I watch it all. I absolutely love it. So if it were my brand and I had a lifestyle brand and I was just talking about my life and all that, that would be a lean that I would go into. I would lean into that part of myself and a part of my life because it does set me apart. Because many women don't know a lot about sports or not as into it as I am, you know, so that would be something that I would lean into. When I started my brand, the fact that I was a single mother who basically left her corporate job in order to get out here and do this influencer thing, I leaned into that, and I kind of still lean into that today because that is quite, you know, drastic. And especially when I did it, it was drastic. People were not doing that. It was not the Great Resignation when I did it. I did it when it wasn't cool, when it wasn't popular. I did it. So I lean into that. So if you have something that makes you stand out, I don't care if it's you have crazy hair, if you have beautiful eyes, if your skin is popping, if you live somewhere that's exotic and people would love to visit, play all that up, because those are some of the same. I play it up where I live also. Play into those things and make it a huge part of your platform because it is what's going to make you stand out. And as you lean into those things that make you different, you are going to build a community because you need a community in order to be an influencer. Now, the reason why that's going to help you build a community is because you're going to start drawing like-minded people, people that love those sports, people that love, you know, to go swimming, people that love to do their hair, that love to do makeup, or that are into skincare. You're going to start to draw in the people that like those things too. And because they like those things too, they'll really be into what you're talking about. They'll engage with you. And that engagement is really, really, really important to the monetization of being an influencer. So you want to build a community. So you draw them in with talking about the things that you like and love and that set you apart. And you build that community by speaking back to them, replying to their comments when they comment on your stuff, going live, having conversations with them, you know, sending out emails, DMing back and forth with them, sending video messages, whatever it is that you have to do to keep the back and forth conversation going. It has to be an exchange, right? Because yes, they're there to support you and listen to what you gotta say, but you gotta listen to them too, because that's going to be the foundation of you creating more content that they like, for you to understand them better, for you to know the things that they want from you. And that's really, really important. So the second thing you gotta do is to build a community. Next, you want to choose the platform that works for you. Being an influencer does not only mean that you have to be on Instagram. I know a lot of people associate influencers to Instagram, but there are a lot more platforms to be on, and you got to choose the one that works for you. Okay, Instagram might not be the platform that works for you. It might just be YouTube. It might be Pinterest. TikTok might be your thing, but find the platform, your primary platform, that's going to work for the type of person that you are, the type of content that you make, and all that good stuff. If people are rocking with you on TikTok and you're not really getting no love on YouTube, then go with TikTok. You gotta be where your people are. You gotta be on the platform that's going to work for you. And that can be different for everybody. You know, while YouTube works for me, YouTube, a lot of people have issue with YouTube and they can't grow on this platform, but it really, really, really works for me because of the type of person I am, because of the type of content that I like to create, and because of how I'm building my business. YouTube works for me. Instagram might work for you. I'm not a fan. I ain't gonna say I don't like, because it's cool and everything. I personally don't like to be on a content creation hamster wheel, and short form content can feel very much like that to me, and it can get very draining. And so I prefer long form, and I prefer having structure and strategy to what I'm doing instead of all day recording short videos. I mean, it's cool and everything, but I find that long form works a lot better for me. The bottom line is you got to choose the platform that's going to work for you, the type of content you create, and the type of person that you are. And now once you find the platform that works for you, you got to be consistent on it. You got to commit to that platform and stay consistent with producing the content that your people are wanting. And this is why creating that community and communicating with them is so important, because you have to stay consistent. You got to be top of these people's mind, because out of sight, out of mind, and they're moving on to the next person. And in order to be consistently giving them the content they want, communication is going to be big on that. Now you need to be consistent in showing up on the platform, consistent in the type of content that you make for them, and just consistent across the board in your brand, because you want them to support your brand across the board. That's what the goal is. The goal is to get them to support your brand as a whole, in total, and not just support your content on that one platform. That is what the goal is. You want to create your 1,000 true fans. That's 1,000 people that will rock with you no matter where you are, what you are doing, what you talking about. They supporting you because they are rocking with you. That is the ultimate goal. But you got to be out here. You got to be consistently talking to your people, and you got to show up. Now, while you're showing up for them, make sure you show up with some energy about yourself. You got to be engaging, okay? Nobody wants to sit and watch you be all drab and boring, okay? A lot of times, and I'm not saying all the time, a lot of times you see that the influencers that actually make it and the ones that make it big got big personality. They got personality. They're engaging, and there is a reason why people watch them, okay? You have to be engaging. You don't have to have that big personality if you don't have the big personality, okay? If you dry, if your humor is dry, be a dry, humorous person, okay? That's engaging to somebody. If you are nerd out, okay? Just be engaging to the type of viewer that you are trying to draw. Everybody doesn't have that personality, but you still can be engaging. Work on your on-camera presence, work on your writing, work on making good captions for your content. You have to work on being engaging, whatever it takes. If you do video, you know, baby, at the beginning of that video, you got to suck them in, because their attention span is not long at all. But you got to be engaging, whatever that means for you. You got to keep the people wanting to come back, and people don't come back for no reason. They come back because they like you, they like your style, you're engaging, you give them good information, you make them laugh. Whatever it is they're coming back for, keep doing that. Keep doing it consistently. Now, after you've done all these things, right, you've picked your platform, you're consistently creating engaging content, and you have built a community that you are communicating with. Okay, girl, you're doing it. At this point, you're becoming an influencer, like you're doing the thing, right? After you've done that and you feel yourself like, okay, I got this, this is working, I'm doing this. Now you need to think like a business, okay? How are you going to monetize this platform that you have created? There are absolutely too many broke creators out here. Like, you gotta think like a business. No matter what you do, think like a business, okay? How are you going to monetize? There are not enough people thinking about this. There are so many ways to do it. Are you going to create physical products, digital products, work with brands, affiliate marketing? There's so many ways to monetize your platform, but you need to think about the way that's going to work for you and how you're going to feel comfortable and confident making that money. Now, obviously, the most popular way to make money as an influencer is with brand deals. A lot of influencers want to work with brands, and it's a really lucrative opportunity. If that's something that you know you want to do, you make sure that you're engaging with those brands. You're not afraid to pitch them and tell them, you know, what you want to do and why you want to work with them and all that good stuff. It's a really lucrative opportunity, but you need to make sure that you're getting out here, operating your brand, you know, on the up and up, and that you would be someone that these large brands would want to align themselves with. So you need to think like a business once you build your community. And then lastly, and probably most importantly, after thinking like a business, is to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers. I'm talking about all your numbers across the board. How many people did you grow last month on Instagram? How many of those people that you grew turned into customers? What was the engagement rate like on your platform? How many brands reached out to you? How much money did you make from those brands? Did you sell any products? What content sold those products? What products are selling the best? How many people did you grow on YouTube? What were your impressions like? What was the click-through rate? I'm talking about you need to know your numbers. And I know the analytics can be so overwhelming, okay, especially when you first start. But those analytics are going to be the thing to help you to grow even further. Knowing some of those numbers about your social media platforms, that's what's going to help you get more people. And we all know that more people can mean more money if you're thinking like a business, right? So this is why you need to know your numbers when it comes to your growth and your engagement and all that good stuff. If you're selling products, you need to know conversion rates and all that good stuff, because that's what helps you to continue to sell more. Don't be afraid to look at your numbers. If you need to go on YouTube and figure out how to read them, do that, because I know a lot of times it can just be overwhelming. We don't know what certain numbers mean, but you gotta figure it out and you got to know what it is, especially if you're on a platform like YouTube specifically, also Instagram too, but YouTube, they give you so much. I absolutely love the Creator Studio and YouTube. They give you so much information to go on and to be able to do better and actually reach your audience. So don't be afraid to look at your numbers, know your numbers, operate yourself like a business, build your community, and get out here and get this money, okay? If you have any questions about growing your online brand, put it in the comments below and I will create another video like this, because I know a lot of you have questions. There's so many of us out here getting out here doing the content creator life, the influencer life, all that good stuff. But if you want to know more about monetizing your influence online, check out this video right here. I go in depth on how you can do it.